is 5 o'clock. Let's call the April 8th, 2024 meeting of the Leitchfield Planning Commission to order. April, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Commissioner Whitmore. Commissioner Mudd. Chairman Buckles.
Here.
Vice Chair Clemens.
No, I'm not vice chair. He's vice chair.
I'm very sorry. Commissioner Clemens.
Here.
Old habits die hard. How about Vice Chair Bocock?
Here.
And Commissioner Hack?
Here.
All right, we'll give it a couple of seconds and could have a late arrival that might alter our scorecard just a bit. All right, looks like no one's any worse for the wear from the eclipse today, so there's Commissioner Mudd, so we'll mark her as present. And on the back of your agenda, you will find the meeting minutes from the March 11 meeting. If you can, have not already, please review those, and I will entertain a motion to approve or amend the minutes when someone is ready.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we accept the minutes as given.
Motion to accept the minutes by Tim Bocock. Do I have a second?
Second.
George with a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Welcome to our public hearing. This will be a public hearing inside a public meeting. Hearings are only for the purposes of receiving evidence and taking testimony from the public. No action is taken inside the public hearing. Sign in if you have not, or if you intend to speak. There is a sign-up sheet for each side of the issue that we are adjudicating. The hearing is a judicial process that includes actual sworn testimony. We will begin by accepting testimony from the applicant, followed by anyone in support of the application. Then we'll hear from anyone in opposition to the application, followed by any opposition the applicant may offer rebuttal to opposing testimony. Once all testimony is heard, the public hearing will be closed and public comment will no longer be accepted unless as the result of a direct question from the commission. Most often, the commission takes action the same day as a hearing, but under the provisions provided by KRS 100, we may delay action on a request depending upon the volume of evidence to consider. Do I have a motion to recess the public meeting and open the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Kendall Clemens with a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Missy with a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, this is the public hearing on RZ 24127. April, would you read the abstract, please?
RZ 24-127, owner is Christy Lindsay, applicant is same, location 204 Kane Avenue, Leitchfield, Kentucky, 42754. Request change current zone R5 multifamily to R2 single-family medium density.
Heather, if we have the sign-up sheets back there, I have a feeling they're not highly trafficked, but if they are back there, I do need them. Thank you. Crystal, you're on the agenda. Your first name is spelled incorrectly, but it's correct everywhere else, so that's why she called you by the wrong name. Our apologies for that. Are you going to speak on behalf of your application, or are you going to let it stand? Okay, so no reason to swear in. Is there anyone here, in addition to speak on behalf of the request? Anyone present to speak in opposition to the request? Okay, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion to close the public
George Hack
hearing.
with a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Kendall with a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Tyler, do you have a recommendation on the map amendment request?
I do. After reviewing the application and evidence of the property. I feel that the existing zoning classification given to the property was inappropriate, being zoned multifamily. The area is primarily single-family, medium density, and I feel like the request zone change should be granted.
Thank you. Questions for staff or the applicant or discussion?
I have, I guess, looking at the map provided here, is this the only one in that whole area that's R5?
Think up toward
I
the,
got there.
I do.
You did.
Yeah. It's the only or one of two
One of-
that are there together.
one of two. If you'll look at the PVA map view,
Okay.
Okay.
where Kane Avenue turns into Lehman Drive, if you go up to the intersection of Lehman Drive and West Main Street, on the corner of Lehman Drive and West Main on the eastern side, you'll see three structures there. That area is also zoned as multifamily. I think those are duplexes or apartments or some sort of structure there, and that's also zoned multifamily.
To answer the question about why it got zoned that way, when the initial the current land use map pretty much gave way to the zoning map. And in 1996, 97, in that range, because the trailer that's on the backside of this property now was probably being occupied, it was zoned as multifamily because there were multifamilies on it. But there has not been multifamily there for quite some time, I think, correct? So that's why. And if you look, Kendall's correct, if you look at most of the lots on the other side, they're half the size of what this current lot is as well. And when you look at, for me, in the deliberations, and you kind of look at some of the vacant space that's to the southwest of that area, you've got mixed use over there with the old Kane building, and then the backup with the old Piggly Wiggly building, but I don't see, until there's some grand master plan, I see there being less commercial and more residential in that area, so.
Tyler, do you know if there would be any restrictions, and would that be a subdivision in there? Would there be any restrictions? No restrictions?
No.
And this is probably, from your necessary finding standpoint, it's probably one of the most straightforward, improperly zoned that you'll find. I'm ready for whatever, whenever anybody's ready.
I've got a question for
Yeah.
my own learning purposes. I noticed that you noted you'd like to divide the property and sell a portion of it, and we're rezoning this for residential use. But just to get that concrete from you, it's not going to be sold for commercial purpose, it's going to be residential. Okay, thank you. Okay.
The entirety of the parcel would get the two.
Okay.
Could go from 5 to 2.
Okay.
So less density, which is typically preferred.
Okay.
Then it would get subdivided.
Okay.
Both both divided pieces would keep the R2.
Okay, thank you.
Is the lot big enough for two R2?
Yes.
And it's got street frontage on both sides. so that-
Street frontage to both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stone and Kane.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we grant the zone request because it was given inappropriate at the time.
Okay. George Hack with the motion,
Second.
second by April. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Our recommendation to the Leitchfield City Council will be to accept the map amendment request. They will hear that at their next city council meeting. Okay? You're welcome to stay if you'd like. You're free to go if you've got other places to be. Okay. Do I have a motion to return to the public meeting?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Tim Bocock with the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Missy with the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, let's resume with our agenda. Are there any old and unfinished business?
All right, so we had a couple of zone changes that were done, that we had to make some amendments to the ordinance that we presented to the council. Just some things that were typographical errors, so we amended those ordinances and reread them, and they were published, so it's all good to go if you all want to accept that. We changed the Miller request. It had two names on it, but only one of the parties had signed for it, so we changed it from each name to the signing party and Etal. Is that how you say that? Okay. And then the zone change for the Watkins development on the north side of town. When it was presented in the ordinance fashion, the entirety of those parcel numbers were changed according to the ordinance, but it was just a portion, two separate tracks, so we amended that for each of those two tracks. So that's how the ordinance reads now.
You all have questions for staff or council on that? Make sure you're clear. You just need someone, you need us to ratify that?
What we did here was correct, but when it was taken to the paper, they just left out a portion. Basically,
So no substantive changes?
no. What we did here was correct. It's just that
No motions that need to be.
it's correct typography.
So I guess you need a motion just for us to ratify
Yes.
the changes? Do I have a motion? Will we approve those changes as presented to us? Kendall with a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Missy with a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Tyler, any more old, unfinished, or new business?
We want to go ahead and accept I guess that's part of the old business. Part of
Yeah. The final development plan?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have the final development plan for the Watkins property,
That's the Leitchfield Addiction Recovery Center.
so for the addiction center. And, I hope I can get it apart. So we have the plat that will be signed off and filed. We've done a little bit different with the certification of commission and owners, being this is a exclusive use, and instead of the normal signature block that will be on the plat, it will read this division plat development plan has been accepted by the City of Leitchfield Planning Commission. Commission is being compliant with sections 2.16 and 3.8.15 exclusive use zones and requirements for a division plat under the zoning ordinance of the City of Leitchfield on April 8th, 2024, and is now eligible for recording in the office of Grayson County Clerk. And then it says Clayton Watkins Construction Company Incorporated certifies that lots 1-1 and 1-2 will be conveyed to the Leitchfield Addiction Recovery Center LLC. Using this plat, and Leitchfield Addiction Recovery Center LLC agrees to construct its recovery center as set out in this development plan now approved by the Planning Commission of the City of Leitchfield. That's the signature block that we will be signing on the plat. And then we have the development plan, site statistics and general information, 306 Marion Street, Litchfield, Kentucky. Proposed use of property, exclusive use zone, addiction recovery center. The parcel area will be Lot 1, which is 3.66 acres, and Lot 2, which is 2.4 acres. Disturbed area, 5.9 acres. Impervious area, 2.029 acres. Building coverage percentage, 15.02%. Paving square footage, 42,914 square feet. Paving percentage, 20.13%. Open space square footage, 124,835 square feet, and open space percentage will be 58.54%. ISR, 41.46%, and total number of units would be 12 units residential building, 16 units recovery building. Building 1, floor area is 25,582 square feet. Type 1 recovery building would be single-story and 24 feet in height, 12 recovery units with 4 ADA recovery units. Building 2, floor area, 11,412 square feet, type 2 residential building, 2 stories, height of 29 feet. It will have 3 one-bedroom units, 1 one-bedroom ADA unit, and 8 two-bedroom units. There will be 57 regular parking spaces, 6 accessible spaces for a total of 63 spaces. And then it has the contact information for the architect, civil engineer, and developer. And all this will be filed together at the county clerk's office.
This is in essence the binding portion of the exclusive use.
Yes.
Anybody have any questions?
This is the first one we've ever done. What Tyler and I decided to do, this is going to be attached to the document that will go in the planning and zoning book. This plat, which also has the footprint of the buildings on it, will go in the plat book.
Okay. Anyone have questions on that?
We hope we're right.
Then I'm sure we can, if anybody wants to take a look, they can review it with you.
Yes, I'll have it available.
April, you probably need to leave. Didn't you excuse yourself on this?
I did.
You probably need to leave then when we're on the vote.
Sure.
For the record, April had excused herself because she worked for Walnut Development. No, she worked for Clay Walnut. Walnut.
Okay, so you need a motion you basically explain the motion that you need, Dave, and we'll see if someone wants to make it.
Will simply be to accept the development plan and plat as the final development plan. And we presented to you at the hearing, the preliminary, but this is the final, which doesn't change it.
So it would be considered the final development plan of the
Of the LARC.
Litchfield,
Of the
Lark.
Litchfield Addiction Recovery
Addiction Center.
Yes.
I'll make that motion that we accept that.
Kendall makes the motion. Tim with the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And let the record reflect that April recused herself from the vote. Okay, April, come on in. Or any other new business, Dave or Tyler? Have you all have any new business? Do I have a motion to adjourn? Kendall makes a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Missy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned.